Chosen one, listen to me. You are not here by accident. Heaven has pressed pause on everything else around you to get this message to you right now. You scroll. You search. You wonder if anyone truly sees you. And in the middle of that quiet ache, heaven leans in and whispers, "You are not like the rest. You are marked. You are mine." You think you are just surviving another day. But heaven remembers the night of your battle, the one you almost did not walk away from. There was a night when your soul felt like it was bleeding. The thoughts were loud. The room felt small. And hope seemed like a language you had forgotten how to speak. You cried without words. Or maybe you were too numb to cry at all. On that night, nobody texted. Nobody called. Nobody saw the war raging inside your chest. But heaven did. Angels stood at attention. Hell launched one of its fiercest assaults. Because you, chosen one, are dangerous to darkness. You thought it was just another breakdown. Heaven called it a battlefield. Every time you whispered, "God, please help me," it was not weak. It was warfare. Every time you chose not to self-destruct. Every time you decided not to give up on your calling, on your life, on your future. You were swinging a sword in the spirit. You did not know it. But the atmosphere around you was shaking. Hell expected you to fold. But you didn't. You stayed. You endured. You got up again. Heaven remembers the exact moment it shifted. That split second when you were inches from saying, "I'm done." And instead you said, "God, I still trust you." Even through gritted teeth, that decision did not feel holy. It did not feel powerful. But in the spirit, it was a shout that echoed through the courts of heaven. What you called barely hanging on, heaven called victory. The enemy called it a problem. Because you refused to bow. You look at yourself and you see weakness, inconsistency, and 1,000 mistakes. Heaven looks at you and sees endurance. A heart that refuses to quit. A warrior who limps but keeps walking. You see the scars. Heaven sees the story behind them. You see all the times you fell. Heaven sees that you always got back up. You may feel like a mess, but you are a mess that hell could not kill. You are still here. And that alone is a testimony. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 23, verse 4, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff. They comfort me." That valley you walked through was not imagination. It was real. The shadow was thick. The fear was real. But so was his presence. You did not just walk through emptiness. You walked through with the shepherd beside you. Even when you could not feel him. There are victories heaven celebrates that earth never posts about. No confetti. No applause. No congratulations messages. Just you. A dark room. And a quiet decision not to go back to the addiction. Not to send that text. Not to surrender to the lie that says you are worthless. Nobody saw that you deleted the number. Nobody saw that you poured the bottle out. Nobody saw that you chose to pray instead of isolate. But heaven saw. Heaven stood. Heaven watched. And heaven celebrated. You need to understand this. The heaviest attacks fell on you not because you are weak, but because you are chosen. Your life carries weight. Your yes carries impact. There are people tied to your obedience. people you have not even met yet. That is why the battle has been so brutal. The enemy was not just fighting your present, he was terrified of your future. Every dark night you survived was a battle over generations, over destinies that will be changed because you did not collapse. Right now, I need you to let this sink in. Heaven is not indifferent to you. Heaven is not bored with your struggle. Heaven has records of your tears. Heaven has marked the night you almost lost your mind but didn't. Heaven has written down the moment you chose life instead of death, hope instead of despair, obedience instead of rebellion. You felt unseen, but your name has been spoken in heaven's courts. Your battle has been mentioned by the King himself. If this word is confirming something deep inside you, then, as an act of bold agreement, like this message, share it with another warrior. Subscribe so you don't walk this journey alone. And comment the prophetic number 777 below as a declaration that what heaven celebrated in your battle is only the beginning. After that night, you woke up and it looked like nothing had changed. Same room, same routine, same responsibilities, same familiar weight pressing on your chest. You looked in the mirror and saw the same tired eyes, the same questions swimming behind them. Part of you wondered, did it even matter that I held on? Did anyone notice that I didn't give in? You did not hear applause. You did not feel fireworks. You felt like you had simply survived. But in the realm you could not see, that survival was a seismic event. There was a moment, so small you almost forgot it happened. Maybe it was when your phone lit up again with that familiar name, the one that always pulls you backward. Maybe it was the urge to go back to that habit that used to numb you. Maybe it was the thought that whispered, just one more time. It won't matter. In that split second, hell expected you to do what you had always done. Patterns, cycles, old chains, they all stepped forward, waiting for their usual victory. But this time, something in you said, no. Your voice may have been shaking, your emotions all over the place, but you still said it. You chose obedience in your weakness. It didn't feel like a spiritual event. It felt like a trembling whisper, a small click-on block, a quiet decision not to reply, a tearful prayer instead of a relapse. You didn't shout. You didn't prophesy. You barely felt spiritual. But that choice cut across the script hell had written for you. In one fragile, hidden moment, you sided with heaven against your own history. That is the moment the war shifted. The enemy lost his always. You broke the predictable pattern. You became unpredictable to darkness. Heaven's attention fixed on that decision. Angels who had watched you stumble and get up again leaned in as you made that tiny, deliberate shift. You thought you were just saying no to a person, a substance, a habit, a thought. Heaven knew you were saying no to a spirit, to a generational curse, to a demonic assignment that had been hunting your bloodline for years. You stood in the same room your past self had fallen in, and you did something different. That is spiritual warfare at its purest, tiny decisions, chosen in weakness, that realign entire timelines. We find in the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verse 13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You did not feel strong in that moment. You felt exhausted, fragile, confused, maybe even double-minded. But that verse does not say you do all things through your discipline, your willpower, or your perfect performance. It says you do all things through Christ. That means the strength you felt you did not have was being supplied from a source beyond you. Heaven was backing your tiny yes with the strength of the one who already conquered death. The enemy works hard to convince you that nothing happened, that nothing shifted, that you are the same, that you will always return to the same cycle. But look closer. Something is different now. There is a new sensitivity in your spirit. There is a quiet conviction where there used to be numbness. You feel it when you try to go near what God pulled you out of. It doesn't fit the same way anymore. The taste has changed. The appeal has faded. That is not you being dramatic. That is evidence that the atmosphere around your life has been recalibrated. You may still feel waves of temptation. You may still hear the old voices trying to pull you back. But now, they are speaking into a realm where the authority structure has changed. Before, it was darkness setting the terms and you reacting. Now, your obedience has invited heaven's order into your life. Your no in that moment became a roar in the spirit. Your quiet surrender gave heaven legal room to enforce victory in places that had been contested for years. This is why the battle suddenly felt both lighter and more intense. Lighter, because something broke. More intense, because the enemy recognized he lost ground and wants it back. But you need to understand this: the shift cannot be undone as easily as the devil wants you to believe. That night, that decision, that simple act of obedience in weakness, has been recorded in heaven's scrolls as a turning point. From that moment on, you are not fighting toward victory. You are fighting from a victory that has already been declared. So even when you feel nothing, when your emotions are flat and heaven seems quiet, remember the invisible reality. There was a moment when your trembling yes made hell flinch and heaven stand. That is when the war shifted. That is when the story changed. That is when you stepped out of survival and into destiny. Even if all you did on the outside was whisper, "God, I choose you again." Chosen one. Have you noticed that the seasons when you decide to seek God more are the same seasons when all hell seems to break loose against you? The days you tell yourself, "I will pray more. I will live cleaner. I will walk away from what destroys me," suddenly become the days when temptation intensifies, misunderstandings multiply, and your mind feels like a battlefield covered in smoke. That is not coincidence. That is targeting. Hell does not waste ammunition on people who are content to stay asleep. The fact that you have felt such unusual pressure, such strange resistance, such relentless warfare, is proof that you are not ordinary. There is a reason your battles seem heavier than those around you. It's not because God loves you less, it's because your calling threatens darkness more. You've watched others do what you tried to do and get away with it, while you get hit with conviction, with consequences, with spiritual turbulence. Sometimes you've asked, why can they live like that and feel fine? But when I even think about going back, everything in me feels wrong. It's because you are marked. You are not allowed to blend in. Heaven has put a claim on your life, and hell knows it. The Spirit spoke through the Apostle in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Your battle is not just against people, feelings, or circumstances. That wave of heaviness, that sudden confusion, That strange wave of opposition, there is a spiritual intelligence behind it. Because there is a spiritual assignment on you. Think about the timing of your storms. Right when you start to fast. Suddenly, old desires flare up. Right when you say, I will focus, distractions appear from nowhere. Right when you decide to cut off a toxic connection, that person suddenly reaches out just to check in. Right when you say, I want to heal, old wounds start throbbing again. Hell is strategic. Because your obedience is dangerous. You have felt misunderstood, rejected, and isolated. And the enemy has whispered, see, even God has left you. But hidden inside that isolation was protection. There were meetings you didn't attend, relationships that didn't work out, circles that pushed you away, and you thought it was rejection. Heaven knew it was preservation. If you had stayed there, something in you would have died. Your spirit is too sensitive, too chosen, to survive in certain environments. You carry something that agitates darkness just by existing. This is why certain people react strangely around you without knowing why. Either they are drawn to your light, or they feel exposed by it. Some mock you, some resist you, some try to pull you back into the mud you were rescued from. They're not always aware of it. But the spirits that are comfortable with compromise feel threatened by your process of consecration. This is why the warfare has sometimes felt personal, like it was tailor-made to hit your deepest fears, your old wounds, your weakest points. The enemy studies patterns. He knows what broke you before, and he tries to recycle the same trap, just dressed in a new form, a new face, a new opportunity, a new distraction. But what he did not prepare for is that each battle you go through with God trains you. You are not the same person you were in your last storm. You think you're just barely making it. But in the spirit you are doing something else. You are learning the way hell moves. You are starting to discern. This is not just me. This is warfare. You are learning to recognize the lie before you believe it. The trap before you step into it. The voice of condemnation that is not your Father's voice. You are waking up. And that is why the pressure increases, because you are slipping out of the enemy's grip. Chosen one, the intensity of your warfare is not a sign that God abandoned you. It is a sign that you are stepping closer to what He put in you before you were even born. If you were meant to live a small, quiet, spiritually asleep life, you would not be this fought. The devil does not go after what does not matter. The fact that you are this attacked means you are this important right now, as an act of defiance against every lie that says you are weak, random, or forgotten. I want you to write 3 prophetic words in the comments. I choose obedience. When you type those words, you are not just engaging with a video. You are announcing in the spiritual realm, I understand now. My battles are not proof that I am abandoned. They are proof that I am chosen. I refuse to interpret my warfare as rejection. I interpret it as confirmation. Let those 3 words be your banner today, your response to hell's targeting, and your agreement with heaven's calling on your life. There was a night that almost vanished into your memory like it was nothing. No big event, no public meltdown, no visible breakthrough, just you, a tired heart, and the heaviness sitting on your chest like a stone. You went through your day pretending you were fine, and by the time night came, the weight felt unbearable. You weren't shouting. You weren't screaming. You weren't throwing things. You were just tired. Dangerously tired. The kind of tired that whispers, "What's the point of any of this?" You lay there, staring at the ceiling or the dark, your mind running in circles. The old thoughts tried to creep back in. Maybe I should just go back to what used to numb me. Maybe I should text that person. Maybe I should stop trying so hard. Maybe I should just disappear quietly and nobody would really care. Those weren't just random thoughts. They were weapons, carefully aimed at your soul, designed to convince you to surrender. On that night, nobody knew what you were fighting. Your phone didn't ring. No one knocked on your door. The world went on scrolling, laughing, living, posting stories and updates. No one saw you clenching your jaw, holding back tears, or going silent because you were one thought away from collapse. It felt like the loneliest place on earth, caught between wanting to give up and not wanting to hurt the heart of the God you were still learning to trust. You did not shout a long prayer. You did not deliver some powerful declaration. Maybe all you managed was a broken whisper, "God, help me," or "Please don't let me fall," or maybe just, "I'm trying." Your hands were shaking. Your mind was exhausted. Your emotions were numb. But in the middle of that fragile moment, you made a decision. You did not go back. You did not pick up what God told you to put down. You did not open what He told you to close. You did not step into the darkness that called your name. On earth, it looked like nothing happened. One more night, one more wave survived. No one clapped. No one said, "I'm proud of you for not giving in." You woke up the next day to the same responsibilities, the same surroundings, and it was easy to think, "I'm still stuck." Nothing changed. But heaven tells the story differently. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31. "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." That night, you were not soaring. You were not running. You were barely walking. But you did something holy, you hoped. Maybe it was the weakest hope you've ever felt. But it was still hope. You placed your trembling trust in the Lord instead of in your old gods, your coping mechanisms, your distractions, your addictions, your self-destruction. Heaven calls that hope warfare. Heaven calls that hope worship. When you said no to the old pattern, it was like a sound went off in the spirit. Angels heard it. Demons heard it. The courts of heaven heard it. The enemy expected you to crumble. But instead, you chose to stand still in the middle of the storm. You did not see it. But in that unseen realm, there was a roar. Heaven does not wait for big stages, microphones, or crowds to celebrate. Heaven celebrates in bedrooms, in bathrooms, in dark cars parked alone at night. Anywhere a heart chooses God in the silence. You think your story is made of the moments people witness the ministry, the achievements, the visible transformation. But heaven's favorite chapters are the ones no one reads but God, the nights you cried but stayed, the mornings you woke up numb but still prayed, the afternoons when you felt overlooked yet chose not to become bitter. That silent victory, the one nobody applauded, is one of heaven's loudest memories of you. You did not know it, but assignments were broken that night. A spirit of despair lost its grip. A chain that had bound your family line for years was weakened. A door that hell kept trying to push open was forced shut because your will aligned with God's mercy. You felt like you were barely surviving a mood swing. Heaven saw you rewriting history. You often wish someone had been there to say, "I see you. I know this is hard. I'm proud of you for not collapsing." What you don't realize is that someone was the one whose eyes never leave you, whose attention never drifts, whose heart burns with love for you, watched you through every second of that battle. You didn't hear his applause, but you will feel its fruit in the strength you are slowly discovering now, the clarity forming in your spirit, the growing ease with which you now say no to what once enslaved you. So while that night may seem small and forgettable to you, heaven keeps it like a trophy. The world may never know what you survived in silence, but the King does, and he has already called it victory. You have seen your battles from the ground, tear-stained pillows, shaky hands, restless nights, and tired mornings. But now, chosen one, heaven wants to show you the same story from above. You see the floor, heaven sees the throne room. You feel the fatigue, heaven feels the vibration of your obedience echoing through eternity. Imagine, for a moment, that the veil between realms pulls back. You are standing in the middle of your ordinary room, but your spirit is lifted into a scene you have never witnessed before. A great hall, brighter than any sun, stretches out before you. The atmosphere is not casual, it is electric with glory. Angels stand in ranks, not bored, not distracted, but focused, watching the story of your life unfold like a living scroll. You see moments you thought were meaningless played out before them, you closing that tab instead of feeding the addiction, you putting your phone down to pray for just 5 more minutes, you walking away from a conversation that was pulling you into gossip and compromise, you forgiving someone who never apologized. Small choices, quiet decisions, no witnesses on earth. Yet in this hall, every one of those moments is magnified, replayed, honored. As you watch, there is a scene familiar to you now, the night you almost gave up. You see your own figure on the ground, shoulders shaking, heart broken, tempted to surrender to the old darkness. You watch yourself whisper, "God, help me," and choose not to go back. In the instant your earthly lips form those words, something explodes in the throne room. Angels rise to their feet. A roar of joy rolls like thunder through the halls of heaven, as Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15, verse 7, "I tell you that in the same way there will be more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who do not need to repent." Heaven is not cold, distant, or indifferent. Heaven celebrates. Heaven shouts. Heaven rejoices wildly. Not over perfection, but over repentance, over your turning, even in weakness, toward God instead of away from Him. You see it now. Your small yes is big news up there. The tears you wiped away quickly so no one else would see are honored like jewels. The moments you repented and tried again, even after failing repeatedly, are not boring to heaven. They are cause for celebration. Every time you pulled yourself away from the edge and whispered, "I still choose you, God," angels heard it like a drumbeat of victory. In this vision, you notice someone seated at the center of all that light, the King himself. His eyes are not harsh, They are not tired of you. They burn with a fierce, patient love, as your battles play on the screens of eternity. He is not shaking his head in disappointment. He is leaning forward, hand over his heart, watching every decision with an intensity that would break you if you felt it all at once. When you stand back up after a fall, his face lights up. When you say no to what once enslaved you, his smile deepens. When you keep walking, even with a limp, he nods with a warrior's pride. You realize something that undoes you. He was never just tolerating you. He has been cheering for you, training you, celebrating you as you grew into the identity he gave you before your first breath, his chosen one. Back in your room, on an ordinary day, it does not look like this. It looks like you, pressing play on another message, whispering tired prayers, trying to stay faithful in the middle of delays and confusion. But heaven has not grown quiet over you. The applause that erupted the night you chose God is still echoing. Every step you take forward, even if it is small and slow, sends another wave of joy through that unseen realm. This is why it matters what you continue to feed your spirit with. Messages that realign you with heaven's perspective are not just content, they are lifelines. When you choose to stay close to voices that pull you back to your calling, it becomes easier to remember what heaven already knows about you, that you are celebrated, not discarded. If this word is watering something inside you, let it be a gentle reminder to stay connected like this, so it stays in your path. Share it with another hidden warrior who needs to know heaven is cheering. And subscribe so you don't drift away from this stream of truth that keeps calling you higher. Because, chosen one, whether you feel it or not, heaven is still on its feet over you. The battle you survived, the obedience you chose, the tears you sowed in secret, they have turned into thunderous applause in realms your eyes cannot see yet. One day, you will stand there and hear it with your own ears. But even now, by faith, you can know you are not fighting for celebration. You are fighting from it. Chosen one, there is something heaven keeps that you have never fully seen. You live your days thinking so much of your story is forgotten, wasted, or unseen. But there is a room beyond your understanding. A place where nothing you have endured in God's direction is ever lost. In that place, your life is not a blur. It is recorded, line by line, moment by moment, as carefully as a scribe would handle a royal decree. If you could step into that room, you would see shelves filled not with dusty, empty books, but with living scrolls. Some are short stories that ended quickly. Some are long lives that walked with God over many years. And then there is one that the angels know well, one that has been opened and added to many times. That scroll carries your name. You approach it, trembling. It is not made of ordinary material. It carries the weight of memory, the ink of tears, and the glow of obedience. When it is unrolled, you don't see a list of your failures. Heaven does not archive your sin as trophies. What you see written there are your responses to God. Your yes in the middle of fear. Your I'm sorry after a fall. Your I'll try again when shame told you to stay down. Your I forgive when your flesh screamed for revenge. Every one of those moments is written, not in faint ink, but in bold, living script, as was spoken in the prophet Malachi, chapter 3, verse 16. Then those who feared the Lord spoke with one another, and the Lord listened and heard them. A scroll of remembrance was written in his presence concerning those who feared the Lord and honored his name. Heaven is not passive. Heaven listens. Heaven hears. Heaven writes. There is a scroll of remembrance, and your story is on it. On that scroll, your battles are not summarized as had a hard year. They are detailed. The night you cried in the shower so no one would hear you. The day you smiled in public while silently breaking inside. The moment you wanted to send that angry message but chose silence instead. The temptation you almost gave into but didn't. The apology you gave even when they never apologized first. Every tear you thought disappeared down a drain or onto a pillow is there counted, honored, remembered. There are places on that scroll where the writing glows brighter. These are the moments heaven celebrated the loudest, the times you chose obedience over relief. You see one line that reads, "They wanted to run, but they stayed." Another says, "They were misunderstood, but they refused to harden their heart." Another, "They confessed their sin instead of hiding it." These may look small to you, but in heaven's record, they are turning points, markers that shift the direction of generations. You also notice blank spaces, and at first, you feel fear. Are those my failures? Are those my wasted seasons? But as you look closer, you realize something shocking. Those blank spaces are places still being written. They are not areas of shame, they are areas of possibility. Heaven has not closed your story. The author has not put down his pen. Even the pages stained with your worst choices are not ripped out. They are redeemed by the next line. When you turned back and said, "Lord, have mercy on me." This scroll does not accuse you. It testifies of grace working in you. It tells the truth, not just of what you did, but of what God did in, around, and through you. It shows how many times darkness thought it had you for good, only to be proven wrong when you lifted your eyes one more time and reached for God's hand. It records the times you carried burdens quietly but did not let go of your faith. Heaven takes that seriously, even when you don't. If you have ever believed the lie that your pain was pointless, that your obedience was unnoticed, that your little yes disappeared into nothing, this is heaven's answer. It is all written. None of it was random. None of it was invisible. There is a scroll that says, "They kept going. They feared the Lord. They honored his name, even when it hurt." Right now, chosen one, as an act of agreement with what heaven has already recorded, I want you to seal this revelation, not for me, but for your own spirit, as a prophetic sign that you believe none of it was wasted. Go to the comments and write this number 444. Let it be your declaration that the God who counts your tears also orders your steps, that he has recorded what you endured, and he will redeem every line. When you type 444, you are saying, "Heaven remembers. I agree. I will not call my story worthless when God has written it down as holy." There came a season when everything started to thin out around you. People who used to call stopped reaching out. Circles that once felt like home began to feel tight, polluted, or strangely distant. Invitations slowed, conversations dried up. Even the places where you once felt comfortable started to feel like they no longer fit the shape of your soul. At first, it felt like punishment. You asked, "What did I do wrong? Why is everyone disappearing? Why do I feel so alone?" You looked at others and saw them surrounded by people. Constant activity, endless noise. Meanwhile, your world seemed to grow quieter and smaller. Plans fell through. Friendships shifted. Some people walked away without explanation, and others stayed in your life physically but became unreachable emotionally. Your heart interpreted this as rejection, but in heaven's language, it was separation, holy separation. You didn't know it, but God was pulling you into a different kind of classroom. There are lessons you cannot learn with a crowd around you, lessons about His voice, His presence, His comfort, His correction. When too many voices are speaking into your life, it becomes hard to discern which one is His. So slowly, gently, but firmly, He began to remove the noise. The isolation you hated was actually an invitation. In those quiet, seemingly empty spaces, something began to happen. You started to hear your own thoughts louder. The pain you had buried under constant activity came back up, demanding to be faced. Old wounds surfaced. Untreated grief knocked on the door of your awareness. You felt more broken, not less. You wondered, how can this be God if I feel worse, not better? But the truth is, healing often looks like exposure before it looks like comfort. God was not trying to crush you. He was trying to show you what needed His touch. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 2. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years, to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart, whether or not you would keep His commands. The wilderness is not an accident. It is not proof that God abandoned you. It is proof that He is preparing you, humbling you, revealing your heart so that what is shallow can be removed and what is genuine can be strengthened. Your wilderness was not always a dry desert in the physical sense. Sometimes it was a season where you felt nobody understood you. Sometimes it was a job you outgrew but had to stay in. Sometimes it was a room where you wrestled with God alone. In that wilderness, the shortcuts disappeared. The people you used to lean on were no longer available in the same way. You found yourself with one primary option: either drown in your own thoughts or press into God like never before. And you did press in, even if clumsily. You started talking to Him more because there was no one else to vent to. You opened your Bible not out of religious duty, but because your heart was starving. You played worship in the background just to feel less alone. You did not realize it, but your isolation was training your spirit to reach for Him first, rather than running to people as your saviors. There were also relationships God had to pull you away from, not because those people were worthless, but because they were weakening you. Some were openly toxic. Others were simply not built for where God was taking you. You tried to hold on, but every time you clung tighter, something in your peace broke. The more you insisted on staying where He was calling you out of, the more drained and confused you became. Finally, when the separation happened, maybe through conflict, distance, or quiet fading, you felt devastated. Yet in the spirit, chains were breaking. God was not trying to make you lonely. He was trying to make you ready. Ready to stand when no one else understands your conviction. Ready to carry anointing without needing the approval of a crowd. Ready to fight battles where your only strategy is obedience and your only comfort is His presence. What looked like abandonment was actually specialized training for a warrior He knew would be on the front lines. In that isolation, you learned how to cry out in the dark and still believe he hears you. You learned how to worship with no audience. You learned how to repent sincerely without trying to save face. You learned to survive off the manna of his word, one day at a time. Instead of feasting on the shallow validation of others, those lessons are making you dangerous to darkness now. So when you look back on that season where your phone grew quiet and your circle shrank, don't only see rejection, see refinement. Don't only see who left, see who stayed. The one who kept you in the wilderness is the same one who plans to bring you out. Stronger, clearer, sharper in the spirit than you have ever been. Your isolation was never empty. It was holy training for the battles heaven knew were coming. Chosen one. There is something you must understand now, that heaven has celebrated your victory. What God broke in your life is not meant to be rebuilt. The chains he shattered are not meant to be gathered and stitched back together. The doors he slammed shut are not meant to be forced open again. There is a holy seriousness in this, a weight that you cannot afford to ignore. You have walked through fire to get here. You have cried through long nights, labored in prayer, endured loneliness, and fought thoughts of returning to what once numbed you. Heaven did not clap over you for nothing. The celebration over your battle was not just about what you survived, it was about what you left behind. When God pulled you out, he did so with intention. He did not rescue you halfway. Yet the temptation to go back still circles you. Old patterns do not disappear overnight. Sometimes the past appears dressed as comfort, a familiar voice, an old habit, a place that once made you feel accepted, even if it poisoned you slowly. The enemy does not always come with horns and fire. Sometimes he comes wearing your favorite memory, whispering, "It wasn't that bad. You were happier then. At least you weren't alone." You stand now at a dangerous line, not because God's power is weak, but because your choices matter. Returning to what God has broken is not just a slip, it is a statement. It says, "I choose the cage over the freedom he died to give me." It treats your breakthrough like a phase instead of a holy deliverance. Heaven loves you too much to let you do that without warning. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 11, "As a dog returns to its vomit, so fools repeat their folly." The language is harsh because the reality is harsh. What God freed you from was never food, it was poison. It was killing you slowly, your peace, your identity, your destiny. To go back to it is not nostalgia, it is self-destruction dressed as comfort. There are conversations you cannot afford to rekindle. There are numbers you cannot afford to unblock. There are places you cannot casually revisit. Not because you are weak, but because you are marked. You carry victory now, victory that cost heaven a celebration and cost you tears. To return would not only reopen old wounds, it would dishonor what heaven has already declared over you. Think of the moments you begged God to deliver you. Think of the tears on the pillow, the nights you felt like you could not breathe, the shame that wrapped itself around your soul like a cloak. You cried out, "Lord, get me out." And he did. Maybe not instantly, maybe through a process, but he led you step by step to this place of clarity. To choose to walk back into that darkness now is to trample your own prayers. You might say, "But I miss them. I miss it. I miss how it made me feel." Be honest with yourself. Did it truly make you feel alive? Or did it just distract you from your pain? Did it heal you? Or did it delay your healing? Did it draw you closer to your calling? Or did it slowly choke it? The things God breaks off your life are never neutral. They are either for your transformation or for your destruction. There is no harmless bondage. Heaven is not threatening you. Heaven is pleading with you. You are standing at a threshold. Behind you are ashes, even if your memory paints them with pretty colors. Before you is a path you've barely begun to see, full of assignments, people you will help, lives you will touch, authority you will walk in. The enemy's strategy is simple. If he can't erase your past victory, he will try to convince you to surrender your future by voluntarily walking back into what once enslaved you. But you are not that person anymore. The one who tolerated that level of disrespect, that level of darkness, that level of compromise, that version of you has died in battles you barely survived. You may still feel traces of them, but spiritually, you have crossed a line. Going back would require you to betray the healing God has already begun inside you. So, when nostalgia whispers, answer it with truth. When loneliness invites you to reopen old doors, remember the cost of those rooms. When boredom tries to push you back into old addictions, remember who you were becoming there and who you are becoming now. What God broke was never meant to be your comfort. It was exposed as your cage. Heaven has already celebrated what you did in the battle. Do not turn the sound of that celebration into an echo of regret. Keep walking forward. Keep honoring the freedom you bled for. Don't rebuild what God, in His mercy, has torn down. Chosen one, you have thought of your battle only in terms of survival. You made it through the night. You didn't give up. You didn't go back. You're still breathing, still standing. But heaven has seen more than survival in you. Heaven has seen forging. While you were busy trying not to fall apart, something was being crafted on your life, something heavy, holy, and unmistakable, a crown. Crowns are not made in comfort. They are not crafted in soft seasons where everything feels easy and everyone applauds you. Crowns are forged in fire, pressure, contradiction, misunderstanding, warfare. Every accusation you endured, every lie the enemy threw at your mind, every lonely night where you chose God instead of your old escape, those were hammer blows in the spirit, shaping authority on your head. You need to know this. Your battle did not just bruise you, it authorized you. There are things you can speak to now that once controlled you, and they must obey not because you are perfect, but because you overcame. You carry a testimony hell recognizes. Demons know the sound of someone who has actually walked through darkness and refused to bow. That is why your words will begin to carry a weight they didn't have before. The Apostle reminds us in his first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 25. Everyone who competes in the games exercises self-control in all things. They do it to receive a perishable crown, but we do it to receive an imperishable crown. While you were fighting thoughts, urges, memories, and pressure, you were not just trying to survive another day, you were training for an imperishable crown, one that does not fade when people forget your story or move on with their lives. In your lowest moments, you saw only your failure, your inconsistency, your fear. But heaven saw something else, your longing for Him. Even when you were confused, even when you felt distant, there was a part of you that kept reaching, kept hoping, kept turning your face toward God. That longing is evidence that you are not just a wanderer, you are a crowned one in process. Think of how you used to handle pain. You ran to distractions, to people who did not value you, to habits that dulled your spirit. But in this last battle, you did something different. You cried, but you prayed. You shook, but you stayed. You questioned, but you didn't quit. That change was not just growth, it was coronation. Heaven placed weight on your yes, and that weight looks like a crown. This is why you began to feel a new boldness in areas where you were once silent. You started to sense, I can't do what I used to do anymore. I can't speak like I used to speak. I can't lower my standards to match the room. That discomfort is royal. Crowns don't sit well in low places. You are not arrogant. You are awakening to who you are in God. Your scars have become part of that crown. The things you were ashamed to talk about are becoming the very stories that set others free. When someone stands in front of you with the same addiction, the same heartbreak, the same confusion you once carried, something rises in you. You speak, and your words are not theory, they are forged truth. That is authority. That is your warfare turned into weapon. Understand this, heaven did not celebrate your battle just so you could breathe easier. Heaven celebrated because your victory produced fruit for others. You are now a carrier of hope. Where you once needed constant encouragement, you will now become the encourager. Where you once needed rescue, you will now be part of another person's rescue. Your crown is not just for display, it is for service. But a crown must be chosen. God can offer it. Heaven can celebrate it. But you must decide to wear it. That means accepting you are no longer who you were. It means refusing to speak about yourself like a defeated, random, worthless soul. It means standing in the identity God has given you, even when your feelings lag behind. You will not always feel crowned, but in the spirit, you are. Right now, I want you to make a prophetic decision, not just with your feelings, but with your will. In the comments, write this simple declaration: I choose my crown. 3 words, but they carry weight. When you type, I choose my crown, you are saying, I accept that my battle has produced authority. I refuse to live like a victim when heaven has called me a victor. I will stop shrinking to fit rooms I've outgrown. I will speak, walk, and live as one marked by God. Let those words be more than text on a screen. Let them be the moment you stop seeing your life as one long story of pain and start seeing it as the journey of a royal warrior being prepared to carry glory. Your crown was forged in warfare. Now, chosen one, it's time to wear it. Chosen one. For a long time, you believed your battle was only about you. Your tears felt personal. Your nights of almost breaking felt private. You thought, if I can just survive this, that will be enough. Survival felt like the highest goal. You had no idea that while you were clinging to the edge, heaven was already looking far beyond your survival. Seeing faces and lives you have not met yet, people whose turning point will be directly tied to the fact that you did not give up. The enemy wanted your pain to shut you down. He wanted your story to stay locked inside, buried under shame, fear, and the lie that no one would understand. His plan was simple: if he could not kill you, he would muzzle you. If he could not erase you, he would convince you to stay silent. But every time you chose God in the middle of your confusion, every time you whispered, "Help me," instead of disappearing, you were doing more than surviving. You were building a testimony, a weapon, a lifeline. You didn't realize it, but the comfort you received in your darkest moments was never meant to end with you. There were nights when you felt an unexplainable peace in the middle of chaos. Mornings when you woke up with just enough strength to face the day. Moments when His presence wrapped around you while no one else even knew you were struggling. Those weren't random, they were deposits. The ancient words recorded in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 1, verse 4, declare, "He comforts us in all our troubles," so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. That comfort you felt when you should have lost your mind. The invisible hand that held you when you were falling apart, that was not just for your relief. It was training. It was God placing in you the very thing you would one day pour out on others. Think about the version of you who almost didn't make it. The one who thought, "No one gets this. No one has been here. No one understands this kind of pain." That version of you still exists right now, but in other people. There is someone lying in a dark room tonight, scrolling with tears in their eyes, convinced they are utterly alone. They don't know your name, and you don't know theirs yet. But heaven is already planning the moment your story will collide with their despair and crack it open with hope. When you speak, it will not be theory. You won't be giving spiritual cliches. You'll be giving evidence. You'll say, "I've been there. I know what it feels like to want to go back. I know what it feels like to be angry with God. I know what it feels like to think you're too far gone, and I know what it feels like when He pulls you back anyway." Those words will carry weight because they were paid for in the currency of your own tears. You may never stand on a big platform. You may never hold a microphone. But heaven does not measure impact in followers or views. Heaven measures in obedience and love. A quiet conversation, a simple message, a short prayer whispered over someone who is breaking. These can shift atmospheres because they are backed by battles you've already won with God. Your scars, once a source of shame, are becoming proof that healing is real. This is why the enemy fought you so hard. He was not just trying to ruin your life. He was trying to silence the sound of your future encouragement. He knew that if you ever realized how powerful your story could be in his defeat, you would become dangerous to darkness. That is exactly what is happening now. You are not just saved, you are being sent. You are not just restored, you are being released as a carrier of the same comfort that lifted you. And this is why it matters what you keep around your spirit. Voices that call you higher. Content that reminds you of who you are in God. Messages that steady your heart. These things are not just nice. They keep your flame alive so that you can light others. When you stay close to truth, you don't just protect your own heart. You protect the ones assigned to your testimony. If something in you is stirring right now, if you can sense that your story was never meant to stop with you, let your heart respond. Stay connected to what keeps you awake in the spirit like this, so it doesn't get lost in the noise. Share it with someone you know is fighting a hidden battle. And subscribe so you keep walking with words that remind you, again and again, that your survival is someone else's lifeline. Heaven did not just celebrate that you made it out of the battle. Heaven is celebrating that through you. Others will, too. Your test has become a bridge. Your tears have become oil. And your life, chosen one, is becoming a refuge for those who are now where you once were. There are parts of your story you remember clearly, the choices you made, the nights you cried, the moments you almost turned back. But there are other parts you barely noticed, moments that looked small or random on the surface. Yet in the spirit, they were anything but random. They were rescue missions. They were interventions. They were mercy stepping in between you and a darkness that wanted you dead, lost, or permanently broken. Think back for a moment. There were days when you didn't pray, not because you didn't care, but because you were exhausted. Your mind was foggy, your heart was numb, and your body felt heavy. You didn't have the strength to intercede, to war in the spirit, to fast, to declare scriptures. You barely had the strength to get out of bed. On those days, the enemy did not take a holiday. Assignments were still being plotted, traps still being set, accidents still being arranged. But something kept not happening. The car that almost hit you but didn't. The relationship that almost pulled you under but suddenly fell apart. The plan you thought you wanted that mysteriously didn't work out. The place you were supposed to be, but you just happened to be delayed from going. At the time, you were frustrated. You thought, why is nothing going right for me? You didn't realize that nothing going right was sometimes code for everything being redirected by mercy. The voice of God thundered in the book of Psalms, chapter 121, verse 7, "The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life." This was not poetic background noise over your story. This was active, present, relentless truth. While you were too tired to watch over yourself, He was watching. While you were too numb to pray for protection, He was protecting. There were battles you never had to fight because mercy fought them before they reached you. You remember the nights when you did feel the warfare, the heaviness, the anxiety, the thoughts. But there were other nights when you went to sleep unaware of what had been planned against you. You did not see the arrow that never made it to your heart, the spiritual attack that got cancelled before it reached your door, the mental breakdown that never fully arrived because someone held your mind together when it should have shattered. There were times you could have connected with the wrong people at the exact wrong moment. One conversation, one message, one invitation could have shifted your life in a direction that would have taken years to recover from. But somehow, your phone died. The message never sent. The ride fell through. The plan collapsed. You called it bad timing. Heaven called it interception. You do not even know how many times your name was mentioned in hell's planning sessions. You do not know how many assignments were drawn up with your weaknesses in mind, your wounds in view. But every time darkness wrote your name into a strategy, mercy wrote denied across it, not because you were so spiritual that day, but because God had claimed you long before you knew how to claim Him. This is why you sometimes look back and say, I should not be alive. I should not be sane. I should not have come out of that. You're right. In the natural, based on what you went through, based on the choices you made, based on the places you went, you should not be where you are today. But you underestimated the power of a watching God, of a keeping God, of a God who guards His chosen even in their confusion. He did not just keep you when you were obedient, He kept you when you were rebellious. He did not just shield you when you were strong, He shielded you when you were compromising, drifting, distracted, or deceived. Mercy stood between you and consequences that would have swallowed your destiny whole. There are mistakes you made that should have cost you much more than they did. There are moments you played with darkness and walked away with your life. Not because darkness went easy on you, but because heaven said, "Not this one, not now, not like this." And it wasn't because your sin was light or your choices were harmless. It was because your calling is heavy. There is still work for you to do. There are still people tied to your name. There are still chapters unwritten, prayers unprayed, songs unsung, lives unreached. Mercy stepped in not to excuse your behavior, but to protect your future. One day, in eternity, you will see the full replay. You will watch scenes you never knew happened, the angel that stood by your bed, the crash that never occurred, the conversation you narrowly missed that would have pulled you under, the night the enemy petitioned for your life and God said, "No." Until then, you walk by faith. Knowing this, you are not here by luck. You are here because mercy stood in the gap when you had no strength left to stand at all. Chosen one, you have stared at your own reflection and seen only the evidence of where you've been hurt. You've looked at your story and traced the outlines of every failure, every fall, every season you wish you could erase. You've replayed conversations, decisions, and memories that made you feel like you were ruined, disqualified, or permanently stained. You have wondered if your story is too marked, too messy, too broken to be used for anything holy. But heaven does not read your scars the way you do. You see them as proof that you were weak. Heaven sees them as proof that you survived. You see them as reminders of where you fell. Heaven sees them as reminders of where God picked you up. You see smoke and ashes. Heaven sees that you came through the fire and did not burn the way hell expected you to. There were seasons when the flames were so close you could barely breathe. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the addiction, the shame, the loneliness, they did not just touch your life. They tried to define it. You thought, "This is it. This is who I am now. I am the one who messed up. I am the one who failed. I am the one who always breaks." But while you were saying those words over yourself, heaven was writing a very different sentence. This one is being refined. As the apostle reminds us in his first letter of Peter, chapter 1, verse 7, "These have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes even though refined by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed." The fire was never meant to prove that you were fake. It was meant to prove that underneath the fear, the confusion, and even the compromise, there was something real in you, real faith, real love, real surrender. Your scars are not stamps of failure, they are seals of promotion. Every time you were hit and got back up, heaven marked it. Every time you repented sincerely instead of pretending, heaven marked it. Every time you owned your mistakes and chose humility instead of pride, heaven marked it. Those markings became like spiritual tattoos that say, tested, proven, refined, still standing. Look at your life. There are things now that do not move you the way they once did. Temptations that once dragged you under now hit a different version of you, one who has been through too much to fall for the same lies. Opinions that once crushed you now bounce off, because you've learned the difference between the voice of God and the noise of people. That did not come cheap. That came through fire. And because of that, you now carry something others can feel weight. There is a weight to your words, a weight to your presence, a weight to your prayers. When you pray for someone who is bound by the same chains that once held you, the spiritual world pays attention, because you are not praying from theory. You are praying from experience. Your scars give your intercession authority. This is why heaven refuses to let you live in shame over what you've been through. Shame says, hide it, cover it, pretend it never happened. Heaven says, bring it into the light. Let me breathe on it. Let me turn this place of wounding into a place of oil. The areas where you were cut deepest are the very areas where healing will flow most powerfully through you. You are marked, but not as a failure. You are marked by fire. When hell looks at you now, it does not see the easy target it once saw. It sees someone who has already walked through flames and kept their faith, even if it was trembling. Someone who knows how to cling to God with nothing else to hold. Someone who has discovered that even in the worst moments, giving up on God is not an option. So instead of hiding your scars, begin to honor what they mean. They mean you are still here. They mean God did not leave you. They mean the fire could not finish you. They mean there is gold in you that only showed up when everything else burned away. They mean heaven trusted you with a level of testing that will now match the level of authority you walk in. Right now, heaven is inviting you to agree with this truth. You are marked by fire, not by failure. To seal this moment, I want you to go to the comments and write this prophetic number, 555. Let that number be your declaration that grace upon grace upon grace has brought you through flames you thought would destroy you. When you type 555, you are saying, I accept that my scars are not the end of me. They are proof that I have been refined. I am not ruined, I am ready. Chosen one, there is something heaven has seen in you that you have rarely seen in yourself: capacity. Not just capacity for joy or responsibility, but capacity for weight. You have walked through things that would have crushed other people. And you've often asked, why me? Why does it feel like my portion of pain has been heavier than most? Why does it seem like my road is always harder? You have seen your suffering mostly as a sign of rejection, punishment, or divine displeasure. When the pressure increased, you thought, God must be angry with me. Maybe I broke something. Maybe I missed my chance. You looked at others whose lives seemed smoother, calmer, more stable, and you quietly concluded, God trusts them with blessing. He only trusts me with pain. But heaven would tell a very different story. There are assignments in the kingdom that can only be carried by those who have known deep sorrow and still chosen to stay. There are realms of compassion, wisdom, and authority that cannot be taught in classrooms or sermons. They must be carved into the soul through experience. Your suffering was not random. It was not God's way of playing with your heart. It was God entrusting you with a weight that would one day translate into help for many. As the Apostle Paul declares in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 18, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. This is not heaven minimizing your pain. It is heaven putting it in context. Present sufferings have been very present for you. The nights of aching, the seasons of confusion, the losses and disappointments, they have been painfully real. But there is a glory that has been forming in you at the same time. Quietly, steadily, invisibly. Think of the moments you thought you were breaking. Your heart was shattered. Your faith was shaken. Your strength was gone. You whispered, "I can't carry this." And yet somehow, one day at a time, you did. Maybe not gracefully, maybe not with a smile, maybe with tears and questions and messy prayers, but you carried it. You kept breathing. You kept walking. You kept reaching for the hand of God, even if all you could muster was, "Please don't leave me." Heaven watched those moments and did not see a pathetic, failing soul. Heaven saw a vessel being stretched to hold more of God's heart. Because the truth is this: those who carry deep pain also carry deep understanding of the Father's compassion. You learned what it was to be comforted, not in theory, but in reality. You learned what it was to be held when you had nothing to offer, nothing to prove, nothing to bring but your brokenness. That encounter has made you dangerous to despair, both your own and that of others. You have been entrusted with suffering in the same way some are entrusted with resources or influence, not because God enjoys your hurt, but because He knows what He can grow in you through it. He saw that, even crushed, you would not fully let go of Him. He saw that, even confused, you would still whisper His name. He saw that, even when you didn't understand His ways, you would still cling to His character. That kind of heart can be trusted with deep things. You may not realize it yet, but there are people whose pain you will one day touch with a gentleness and strength that could only have come from your own story. You will sit across from broken hearts and feel a holy familiarity. You will recognize the look in their eyes because you've seen it in the mirror. And in that moment, your suffering will no longer feel pointless. It will feel like preparation. Your tears are not wasted, they are seeds. Every lonely night became a line in the language you will use to speak life into others. Every season where God felt silent taught you how to hold on when heaven seems quiet. And you will teach that to those whose faith is hanging by a thread. Every time you walked through something you did not deserve but still chose not to poison your heart with bitterness, a new level of purity and power was added to your spirit. You have asked, "Why didn't He remove it sooner? Why didn't He stop it earlier?" The full answer may only be clear in eternity. But this much you can know: He never wasted a single ounce of what you went through. He has been weaving even the ugliest threads into a tapestry that, when turned over, will show the face of a God who was closer than your breath in every dark moment. So instead of seeing your suffering as evidence that God trusted you less, begin to see that He trusted you more. He trusted that, even bruised, you would not curse His name. He trusted that, even bleeding, you would still choose love over hardness. He trusted that, even limping, you would keep walking. Your pain has not disqualified you, it has prepared you. Heaven trusted you with suffering because heaven intends to trust you with glory. Chosen one, you are not standing where you used to stand. You are not lying on the floor in the middle of that old battle anymore. You are on the other side of victories you once thought were impossible. Heaven has celebrated what you did. Chains have fallen, doors have closed, paths have shifted, but now, in this very moment, you are standing in a different kind of danger, not the danger of being completely bound, but the danger of drifting back toward what you were delivered from. This is not the danger of ignorance. You know too much now. You've tasted freedom. You've felt God's hand pulling you out of places that were killing you. You've sensed His presence in rooms where you once only felt emptiness. You've seen that He is real, that He speaks, that He preserves you. That makes the line in front of you weightier. You are not just tempted to fall, you are tempted to rebel. Rebellion is different from weakness. Weakness says, God, I'm trying, but I keep stumbling. Rebellion says, I know what you said, and I'm choosing against it anyway. You have been weak many times, and God wrapped you in mercy. He lifted you, restored you, taught you, held you. But now there is a pull in the air, a familiar voice, a familiar offer, a familiar path that invites you to step over a boundary you already know is holy. You can feel it. There is that conversation you know you should not entertain again. That compromise you know you cannot manage like before. That secret door you know you cannot reopen without grieving the spirit who rescued you. Part of you hears the warning loud and clear, don't do it, no matter the price. Another part of you whispers, maybe just once more. Maybe I can handle it now. Maybe it won't be as bad this time. The prophet Elijah spoke as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 21. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him. There is no middle ground written there. No safe gray zone of a little bit of both. The line is clear, choose. If the Lord is God, follow him fully. If the idols are God, then be honest and follow them. But heaven will not pretend that wavering is neutral. Wavering is a decision. You are standing in that kind of moment now. Not the old battle of, is God real? You know he is. Not the old confusion of, does he love me? You've seen too much of his mercy to doubt that. The question now is simpler and sharper. Will you obey or will you rebel? Not by accident, not by ignorance, but by choice. Heaven has been incredibly patient with you. Think of how many times you circled the same mountain. How many times you returned to what hurt you. How many times you flirted with the edge, and he still pulled you back. That was mercy. That was kindness. That was him remembering your frailty. But mercy is not a toy. It is not a blanket you wrap around deliberate rebellion to make it feel less dangerous. There comes a moment when continued refusal to listen does something to your eyes. It begins to blind them. You are closer to that edge than you think. This is why the warnings feel stronger lately. Why convictions hit quicker. Why the peace leaves you faster when you step where you shouldn't. Heaven is not being harsh. Heaven is sounding an alarm. You are one decision away from stepping into a kind of darkness that is subtler, not louder, but quieter, where your conscience goes numb, where the voice that used to grieve you grows faint. That is the scariest place of all, not where you are fought, but where you stop feeling the fight. Right now, God is not only reminding you of his love, he is reminding you of his holiness. He is not just the one who held you in your brokenness. He is the one who draws lines, who says, this far and no further. The same hand that wiped your tears is the hand that now blocks the path back to your old chains and says, don't cross this, not this time, not again. You stand at a crossroads on one side, the slow slide back into patterns he already judged and broke. On the other, the costly road of obedience, where you may lose some comfort, some connections, some illusions, but you keep your clarity, your anointing, your future. Heaven is pleading with you, do not trade long-term glory for short-term relief. Do not sell your birthright for another bowl of what once poisoned you. Don't do it, no matter the price. This is not control, this is protection. You are too chosen, too marked, too celebrated in heaven to walk willingly back into the prison you were freed from. The line is in front of you. You already know where it is. Now, chosen one, your next step will answer the question your lips have been asking for years: who will I truly follow? Chosen one, heaven did not pull you out of the fire just so you could sit quietly in the shadows. You were not rescued to return to the background, hiding what God has done in you. Every battle, every tear, every night you almost surrendered has been building to this. You are being commissioned. You are not only a survivor of darkness, you are a carrier of light. There is a reason your presence has always felt different. Even when you didn't understand why, you walk into a room and something shifts. Even if no one can explain it, some feel drawn to you. Others feel exposed around you. You tried to tone it down, to blend in, to be normal. But normal has never fit you. That is because you were never called to blend in. You were called to burn. You carry fire now. Not the wild, destructive fire of anger and chaos that once tried to consume you, but the holy fire that refines, exposes, and warms. You know what it feels like to sit in deep darkness. So when you see that same darkness in someone else's eyes, you cannot pretend you don't see it. That nudge, you feel that pull to care, to pray. To speak is heaven reminding you, you are a torch-bearer. You do not walk past darkness, you confront it by shining. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verse 12, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. The light of the world walked you out of your own darkness so that his light could now live in you. You are not the source, you are the vessel. But vessels matter. They carry light into rooms, families, timelines, and hearts that have forgotten what hope feels like. Being a torchbearer does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it is as quiet as sending a simple message: you've been on my heart. Are you really okay? Sometimes it's praying in your room for someone who would never ask for prayer. Sometimes it's choosing to speak truth gently when everyone else is comfortable with lies. Sometimes it's standing firm in purity in spaces that celebrate compromise. Your light may look small to you, but to someone drowning, it looks like a lighthouse. And this calling is not seasonal. You are not just on fire when you feel spiritual. A torchbearer is still a torchbearer on tired days. Ordinary days, silent days. Your calling is anchored deeper than your mood. Heaven has put something in you that cannot be unseen now. You know too much of his kindness, his protection, his patience to pretend you're just one more face in the crowd. But carrying light comes with a cost. You will not always be understood. Some will misread your purity as pride. Some will call your boundaries too much. Some will feel convicted just by the way you live and respond with distance or mockery. Do not let that dim you. Your assignment is not to keep everyone comfortable. Your assignment is to be faithful. A torch that refuses to burn so others don't feel confronted has forgotten its purpose. At the same time, your light is deep comfort. There are weary souls who will breathe again just because you walked into their day with kindness and truth. There are people who will feel seen for the first time because you listened without judgment. There are destinies that will be redirected because you chose to obey a small nudge from God instead of ignoring it. You are a carrier of the same comfort that once kept you alive. And you are not meant to walk as a lone flame. Torches ignite other torches. When you stay close to voices, messages, and communities that fan your fire instead of smothering it. Your light grows steadier, clearer, stronger. That is why what you consume matters. Who you walk with matters. What you agree with matters. You are tending a flame that is meant to travel far beyond your own lifetime. If this word is confirming what heaven has been whispering, that you are not just healed, but sent, then let your agreement show. Gently, intentionally. Stay connected to what keeps you burning like this, so it stays in your path. Share it with another warrior who needs to remember they carry light too. And subscribe so you don't drift away from a stream that continually calls out the torchbearer in you. And then, take one more step. Use your own voice. Go to the comments and write these 3 simple words: I say yes, not to me, but to the one who has walked with you through every battle and is now handing you the torch. When you write, I say yes, you are declaring, I won't hide what you've done. I accept the fire. I accept the responsibility. I accept that my life is meant to shine. Heaven has already celebrated what you did in the battle. Now, heaven leans in to watch what you will do with the flame you carry. Chosen one, you have come out of a battle that marked you. Heaven celebrated what you did. Chains fell. Patterns broke. Your identity shifted. But now something in your spirit has begun to stir again. You can feel it, not the old heaviness of bondage, but the quiet tension before a new assignment. It's not depression. It's not random anxiety. It is the sense that the air around your life is changing, that something is forming on the horizon. This time, it doesn't feel like the first battle, when you were just trying not to die on the inside. Back then, you fought simply to stay alive, to stay sane, to stay tethered to God by the thinnest thread. Now, you feel different. There is a stability you didn't have before, a clarity that wasn't there in your early warfare. You know God's voice more clearly. You recognize the enemy's tricks faster. You are no longer a panicked survivor. You are a trained warrior. And heaven is preparing you, not for a repeat of the old battle, but for a new one, a battle not just over your survival, but over your territory. This new wave coming toward you is about what you will carry, where you will stand, who you will influence, what regions of darkness must back up because you are present. The enemy is not just afraid you'll stay free, he is afraid you'll set others free. You may already feel the tremors, strange resistance around new opportunities, unexpected pushback when you start to step into roles, responsibilities, or ministries that stretch you. Old insecurities trying to rise up just as doors begin to open. Attacks that feel less like random chaos and more like strategic attempts to intimidate you back into smallness. That is not because you're weak, it's because you're stepping into a new level of assignment. The ancient words recorded in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 37, remind you who you are in the midst of this. No. In all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. Notice it does not say, one day, after enough effort, you might become a conqueror. It says, in all these things, in pressure, in transition, in spiritual resistance, you already are more than a conqueror. You are not fighting to achieve that identity, you are fighting from it. In your previous battles, you often fought from fear. Fear of failing, fear of losing God, fear of falling back into darkness. Now, heaven is teaching you to fight from rest, Rest in your position as loved, chosen, sealed. Rest does not mean passivity. It means unshakable confidence in where you stand. You are not clawing your way into God's favor. You are standing on ground Jesus already won for you. This changes everything about how you engage the new battle. When old lies rise, you're not ready. You're still broken. You're just pretending you don't spiral like before. You answer them from your new seat. I may still be in process, but I am not who I was. The blood of Jesus defines me now. When new assignments feel intimidating, you don't crumble under the weight. You acknowledge your weakness and lean harder on His strength, knowing the victory is anchored in Him, not in your flawless performance. This new battle will still have tears, misunderstandings, and warfare, but there will also be glory. You will see God use you in ways that humble you. You will feel His presence move through your words, your prayers, your worship, your kindness. You will watch people soften, repent, awaken, and heal. And you will realize, this is why the last battle was so intense. I was being forged for this. There will be moments when you are tempted to think, it's happening again. I'm back where I started, but you are not. The same kind of resistance may appear, but you are not the same person facing it. Before, you were untrained. Now, you carry experience. Before, you doubted your worth. Now, you know heaven has celebrated you. Before, you fought alone in your mind. Now, you understand that angels fight beside you, and that you stand under the covering of a victory already declared. Heaven is not anxious about the coming wave. The one who led you through the last storm is absolutely certain of what He has planted in you. He is not testing you to expose your weakness. He is leading you to express your strength, His strength in you, on a bigger stage. This battle is not about whether you belong to Him. That has been settled. This is about how far His light will travel through you. So when you feel that pressure building, do not panic. Recognize it. You are not going backwards. You are being moved forward into territory the enemy never wanted you to touch. The same God who celebrated your last victory now stands over your future and says, you will not fight like before. You will not fight as a victim. You will fight as more than a conqueror, through the one who has loved you all along. Chosen one, heaven has not moved on from your story. You live inside time days, weeks, months, seasons, but heaven stands outside of it, seeing your whole journey at once. The night you almost gave up is present to God. The moment you chose Him in your weakness is present. The tears you cried in secret, the obedience no one applauded, the doors you refused to reopen, all of it is alive before His face. You wake up and think, that was then. Today is just another day. I'm back in the routine. But in the throne room, there is still a sound attached to your name. The echo of the celebration that erupted when you turned away from darkness has not faded. Heavenly realms do not forget the moments when a heart chooses God against all odds. What felt like a single night to you became an eternal testimony in heaven. You are tempted to reduce it, to say, I didn't do anything special. I just didn't fall apart. I just kept breathing. Yet heaven insists on calling it more. Heaven calls it faith. Heaven calls it love. Heaven calls it loyalty under fire. Heaven calls it the fragrant offering of a soul that clung to God when nothing made sense. That fragrance still rises. That choice still speaks. As your life continues, you will face new days, new challenges, new battles. But you must understand this: you never return to zero. You do not go back to being the person you were before that war. What you did in that battle has been woven into who you are now. It is part of the fabric of your identity. You are not just someone who once survived. You are someone who carries a history with God. As the prophet wrote in the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 17, "The Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves. He will take great delight in you. In his love he will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing." Heaven does not simply tolerate your existence. Heaven delights. The mighty warrior who saved you in the battle has not put his sword away and forgotten you. He rejoices over you, present tense. He sings over you, not because you are flawless, but because you are his. You imagine God looking at your life with a clipboard, grading you, measuring you, waiting for you to fail again. But the one who watches you has eyes of fire and a heart of tenderness. He remembers the cost of your obedience. He remembers the nights you stayed when leaving would have been easier. He remembers the prayers you prayed for others, even when you were hurting yourself. He has not forgotten. He will not forget. When you step into a new day, you are not stepping into a cold, empty space. You are stepping into an atmosphere already charged with what heaven knows about you. Angels assigned to your life do not see you as fragile and random. They see you as the one who made it through, the one who chose God, the one whose yes shook their ranks with joy. They move with you, not as if you are about to fail, but as if they are confident you will rise again. Even when you stumble, you will still have moments of weakness. You will still have days when old thoughts whisper and old wounds ache. But now, instead of interpreting those moments as proof that nothing has changed, you can see them for what they are: skirmishes on territory you already helped win. Temptation may knock, but it is knocking on a house that has a different owner now. Fear may speak, but it is speaking to a heart that has heard the sound of heaven's applause and cannot unhear it. Heaven's celebration over you is not a one-time event. It is a posture. You are watched with love, guarded with purpose, and carried with intention. Your future is not an empty page waiting to be ruined. It is a set of prepared works. Good things, divine appointments, hidden assignments that you will walk into as you keep saying yes, one day at a time. The same God who rejoiced over your battle will rejoice over every new act of obedience that flows from that victory. So, walk forward differently now, not as someone trying desperately to earn a place, but as someone who already has one. Not as someone begging to be seen, but as someone already known, already celebrated, already marked in heaven's records. You are not an accident in the kingdom. You are a remembered one, a rejoiced over one, a chosen one. And every step you take from this point on, every prayer, every surrender, every quiet decision for God is not starting from scratch. It is building on a foundation heaven has already honored. The war that almost ended you became the testimony that introduced you to yourself. Heaven celebrated what you did in the battle. Now heaven watches with joy and expectation as you live out the life that victory made possible. This is where the words on the screen stop. But the story in you keeps moving. Chosen one, if you've made it all the way here, It's not by accident. Something in your spirit refused to click away, refused to numb out, refused to treat this like just another piece of content. That something is the same part of you that survived the battle, that chose God in the dark, that is still quietly saying, I want to live out what heaven already sees in me. Right now, you stand in a holy in-between. Behind you is a history that heaven has already celebrated, nights you didn't give up, choices you made that nobody saw, chains that broke when you whispered yes to God instead of yes to the old you. Ahead of you is a path that isn't fully visible yet, but it is real people you will touch, atmospheres you will shift, prayers you will pray that change things you never even hear about. You don't have to know all the details to take your next step. You just have to refuse to go back to the version of you that thought they were alone, random, and unseen. You are remembered in heaven. You are marked. You are carrying a story that matters more than you know. If this message has met you in a real place, let it be more than a moment. Let it shape your habits, your focus, your community. Stay close to what keeps your spirit awake like this, so it doesn't get buried under the noise of your feed. Share it with someone who's in a battle you can feel, even if they haven't said it out loud. Your small act might be the hand they grab when they're slipping. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so you don't have to walk this road alone. Let this be one of the voices that keeps calling you back to who you really are when the world and your own mind try to tell you otherwise. Finally, use your own voice. Comment something this spoke to, or simply, I receive this as your personal amen, your way of saying, I agree with what heaven says about me. I am not going back. I am walking forward as God's chosen one. Heaven already stood up for you in the battle. Now, you get to stand up and live like it.